7:34. It's our time. Thanks for being with us here on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, wherever you're watching. This 7:34, your daily update as to what's going on around our town. And we start with weather. It's been an unsettled morning, to say the least. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings all throughout the metro Twin Cities. Still storms popping up in the area, and it's going to be one of those days. You know, there's going to be isolated storms popping up throughout the morning. But in the afternoon, it looks like things will get organized again. There's a chance for storms starting at 4 and running throughout the evening. So temperatures will be a little more moderate compared to what we've seen, but it's going to be humid because of all the rain that's been out there and the storms. So an unpleasant day, another day that you're going to want to keep your eyes on WCCO and download that WCCO weather app. I use that live radar all the time. Very, very helpful to kind of get a sense as to what's going on out there. Let's talk about this. The state fair is canceled, as you know. But apparently they've got a stockpile of a couple, 10, 20,000 cups. They got to get rid of them. And they think it'll give you a chance to connect with the state fair at home. I got to admit, when I saw this yesterday, I'm a total bobo for the state fair. I love it. I want the cups. I'm going to buy the cups. Why am I going to go buy a sleeve of 50 plastic Minnesota State Fair cups? I don't know. But I can't help myself. A sleeve of 50, if you get a 12-ounce cup, it's $12. 16 ounce is $14. 20 ounce is $16. You got to go to the fairgrounds. It's cash or check. They're going to do it Tuesdays and Fridays this month. So tomorrow is the first chance. All the info at cco.com. But we want to know, are you like me? Are you going to get a cup? What are you going to miss the most about the state fair? Let us know on the WCCO TV Facebook page. Leave a comment. We'll read through a couple in just a moment. Let's get you up to date on the top news headlines this morning. We do have some viewer video of tornadoes in central Minnesota yesterday. These tornadoes look like they're right out of a movie, don't they? This one from Otter Tail County. This is one of at least two that touched down around dinner time last night. Now, we don't know the details of the person who died, but one person is dead. Two others had to go to the hospital because of this tornado. We did talk with the two women who captured this on video while they were driving along I-94 near Ashby.
Oh my God, I'm literally shaking like...
We'll send you this video.
Oh my God!
I didn't see any damage, but once we got ahead to like the part of the interstate that it did cross, you could tell because there was water everywhere. And it was like it had picked up water from some lake or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of how I would be too. Oh my God, it really is. Look at the damage. This is, and both the women were okay, as you could tell. They were a little shaken up, but they were fine. The damage from the tornadoes is pretty significant, right? See this big old tree just knocked down, that car absolutely totaled, debris kind of piled up. We'll see more of that as we go out and go back there to cover it today. A little while later, this tornado showed up just to the east in Crow Wing County. The county says nobody was hurt. They haven't found any major damage, but again, that's something we'll be checking on today. Big issue to keep an eye on today, the decision on mandating masks. Will we see some sort of statewide mask mandate from Governor Tim Walz? He said his administration is closely looking at how to best make it work. The governor said they'll consider what's happening in different parts of the state. So maybe we'll see something like a county-by-county mask decision. You know, some counties that don't have a lot of COVID-19 cases might not have mandatory masks, but others might. A decision on this, we're told, could come in the very near future. Several cities are doing this already. They have mask rules on their own. I don't know how much stock we put in models when it comes to COVID-19. They've been sketchy, I would say, but the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation has a fairly positive outlook for Minnesota for the fall. They're saying we'll average around 330 new cases of COVID-19 each day. We've been kind of hovering in the 400 to 500 case area right now, but they say if wearing masks becomes more universal, you could see around 50 new cases each day. So that would be a significant improvement. The United States did pass a rough milestone yesterday. You don't like to see this. 3 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. This is less than a month after we passed the 2 million mark. Surging cases over the past few weeks does have state officials in several states like Texas and Florida rolling back some of the reopenings that they tried to roll out in those states. White House says students will be back inside their classrooms at the end of the summer. No politics here, but what a train wreck this has been, right? The CDC puts out guidelines and says, here are 9 pages of guidelines. Then the vice president and the president say, like, well, don't worry about that. What's going on? You feel for school leaders trying to figure it out. Here's the problem when trying to have a national policy here. You're seeing coronavirus going up in some cases in a majority of states. President Trump saying he's going to hold back federal funds from schools that don't fully reopen. He doesn't really have any power to do that. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos says anything short of a full reopen is unacceptable. Vice President says CDC will have some new guidance for schools next week. I guess the important message is that this is guidance from the CDC. It's not supposed to be here are the laws or the rules. This is what the public health agency would like to see. There are other factors to be weighed. One of 4 former Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd is asking to have his case dismissed. I don't think anybody was surprised by that. That's very standard procedure that a defense attorney would ask to throw out a case. Thomas Lane's lawyer said in court papers the case should be tossed. There's not enough probable cause, he said. Attorney Earl Gray released a bunch of evidence, though. He says Lane asked twice if the officer should turn Floyd on his side, and the officer who used his knee to pin Floyd to the ground said no. So we'll see what happens there, but lots of new evidence that you can check out on WCCO.com. Tough news out of Southern California this morning. Boy, I was such a big fan of the show Glee. Were you? Did you watch Glee? I love that show. And this is really one of my favorite actresses from the show, so talented, but there is a search underway in California for missing former Glee star Naya Rivera in a California lake. Officials say they fear she drowned. Other boaters, and this is how this was discovered, some other people who are on this Lake Piru see a 4-year-old kid. They see a little kid in a boat sleeping alone. The boat was rented. This lake is just north of Los Angeles. And so investigators go out there, and the little boy says, I went swimming with my mom, and I don't know where she is. They spent hours searching for her yesterday. They'll start searching again at sunup today. Very sad story. It is the final day of the Supreme Court's term, and we'll be keeping an eye on this morning. Watch for news alerts online and here on CBSN Minnesota. Couple of cases linked to President Trump's finances. His banking records, one case. Can the president prevent the Democratic-led House from obtaining paperwork? Another case, the president's ability to block a subpoena to view his tax returns. This video is very scary to watch. This is in Arizona, a building on fire, and a toddler is dropped from a 3rd-floor balcony. Whoa. Whoa is right. This is in Phoenix, Arizona from last Friday. The man who made that dive in the red shirt, wow, catches the 3-year-old. He's a former Marine. That 3-year-old and his 8-year-old sister both hurt in the fire. Sadly, their mother did not survive. But what a scene there. Much better outcome in Caledonia, Wisconsin. Police officer on his way home saw smoke coming from a house. Kicks in the door. You hear the smoke alarm going off. There's a dog. Watch this, that dog right there on the couch. Firefighters kind of grab the dog, get him out to safety. They rescued a second dog from under a bed. No humans were home at the time of the fire, so those officers in Caledonia, which is not too far from Milwaukee, go out there and save a couple of dogs. Nice to see. Let's get back to today's talker. We're talking about the state fair. What are you going to miss? Would you go buy the sleeve of cups? Matt Moberg says seeing how people have creatively spent this year carving up butter. It's a task that no one asked them to take on, yet all of us are glad they did. We're going to miss that for sure, the butter carvers. Judy's going to miss her grandson Damien competing with his rabbit. Oh, that is a bummer. The 4-H kids all over who kind of come and compete. Cindy misses the WCCO bag. We miss that too. I miss kind of seeing everybody out here. Here's Christian She's going to miss the food and the people watching, but missing being with the family. The CCO family. That's what I'm bummed about, Kristen. I love kind of being out there, seeing all of you guys every year. Doing the noon show from the fair is always a special tradition. They are doing a virtual fine arts. I love the fine arts show. I've actually bought some art from the state fair before, and they're going to do it online this year. Not the same, but they're doing their best. All right, I'll bring in my cups when I go buy the sleeve of cups tomorrow. How am I out of my mind for spending $14 on 50 plastic cups? I'm told yes. I mean, you guys have known I'm out of my mind for a long time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day.